What's good, DMV? Y'all know what it is. It's your boy Abu from Daily, here with another episode of the Daily Talk. So today I have the pleasure of speaking with Mr. Cleveland Spears III. I gotta emphasize the third, who is the founder of Célébré En Rosé. I pronounced it correctly?
Yeah, that's very good. That's very close. Célébré En Rosé.
Célébré En Rosé. See, I always wasn't that fluent in Spanish, but I'm gonna still try.
French.
Oh, French. Oh, see, look at me. See, I I need to learn my languages.
Yeah. So it is French for celebrate in pink.
Okay. I love that. I love that. And for everybody wondering what is Célébré En Rosé, it's a 2-day wine and music festival, and it's actually taking place this Labor Day weekend. And I'm very excited to talk about it because it's going to be down here at the harbor. There's going to be lots of drinks, food, and we also got some special guests. So we know Lupe Fiasco, Estelle, and DJ Jazzy Jeff are going to be there as well, along with Black Alley. But before we even dive into all the good stuff, my brother, let me talk to you right quick before we dive into the good stuff. How are you doing today?
I'm great and excited to be on here to talk with you and talk with all of your listeners, followers, and readers.
Thank you. So first off, who is Cleveland Spears, and how did he came up with this idea, this wonderful festival?
Awesome. Well, thank you for the question. I am a marketing and advertising professional. We have a firm called the Spears Group. The Spears Group is an ad agency. So we provide the services of an ad agency, creative, PR, strategy, media placement, things like that. And we added an experiential arm of our company about 6 or 7 years ago. And we create and produce and own our own event products. And we've had a number of them over the years. Some of them have been wildly successful, and then we sunset them. And then that creates an opportunity to create something new and exciting. And so we created what was previously known as La Fête de Rosé in 2018 in Atlanta. Over the years, it has grown and has expanded to other cities. And then this past spring, we reached an agreement to sell that name to a winery that was also producing a wine under the name La Fête de Rosé. We had known of each other for years because my event and their wine had the exact same name. And as the wine grew in popularity and reach, they wanted, we came to agreement to sell them that name. So we changed the name about a couple months ago. The new name is Célébré En Rosé, French for celebrate in pink. And consistent with the original name, we kept a French name because the finest rosé wines and champagnes come from the French regions, from south of France and Paris and Côte-de-Provence and Saint-Tropez and Nice and those parts of France. So we kept our French name, and now we invite everyone out to celebrate in pink.
Yes, we love to see it, and I definitely do agree. The French area definitely do have the best wine and rosé.
Mm-hmm.
They definitely do. So tell us about the inspiration behind the event and why specifically you want to focus on rosé.
So we were producers of another French concept called Dîner en Blanc in multiple cities across the country. We were one of the first companies to help bring that concept spread that concept across the U.S. So we produced it in about 3 or 4 cities a year for 7 years. And we felt like, and not to disparage that concept because it's a great event, a lot of people enjoy it, I enjoy it, but we felt like our time with that concept had run its course. And so we wanted to replace it with something else that was still unique, very fashion inspired, allow people to kind of dress up and look beautiful. And the rosé wave was kind of sweeping the country. It is still sweeping the country. People enjoy rosé. And there's a lot of fun you can do with it. A lot of rosé cocktails, great wines, great champagnes. The idea of the pink attire created a new element for us. And so we just thought it was something that people would enjoy and get excited about. I visited the Polo Classic a couple times, and the idea of just high fashion, very photo worthy moments, very Instagram moments, we felt like that was where the culture was going, and the culture wanted more of that. I mean, there's a Polo Classic in New York, there's one in LA, and there's nothing else really like it the rest of the year in any other parts of the country. So we drew our inspiration from that and believe that people in the various cities that we're now doing this event in will respond to it, and they have.
And we love to see it, and we love to see it. So I wanted to backtrack. You mentioned that the first festival was in 2018, if I'm correct, right?
The first Rose Fest was in 2018 in Atlanta.
Oh, in Atlanta. Okay. So tell me the uniqueness of all the festivals from 2018 to now, because this is 2018, 19. So this is about to be the fourth one, if I'm correct.
So we have done 2 in Atlanta. We did 18 and 19 in Atlanta. We've done 1 in DC, which was 19. All of the 2020 cities were canceled because of COVID.
Okay.
And so this will be our second year in DC. And based on COVID ending kind of later in the season, we will return to the other cities in 2022. So DC is the only one happening this year in the 2021 year. And kind of how has it grown and evolved? What we tell everyone, and I want to be very kind of upfront about this, every time we do an event for the first time, we learn a lot. We make substantial changes between years 1 and years 2. It's kind of like watching a baby go from a newborn to a teenager, but we make those changes in 1 year. So what folks can expect from this year, if they came in 2019, is that we learned a lot, and we're going to do things a lot differently from an operational logistics perspective that will enhance their experience. And depends on how much time we have, I can talk about what those things are, or you can just trust me, either one.
Okay, go talk away.
Great. So anyone who came in 2019 will see that we are using the space completely differently. In 2019, so we're at South Point at the National Harbor, which is where the Air Force One exhibit had been parked.
Yeah.
In 2019, folks had the opportunity to park in the parking lot on the site. That will not be an option this year. We are using the parking lot as kind of our food and beverage operation. And so what that means is we have a 150 feet long bar versus a 40-foot bar we had in 2019. So we have almost quadrupled the size of our bar and beverage operation so we can serve folks faster. We have 20 check-in positions at the entrance so we can process people into the event faster. This is something very, if you're not an event producer, you probably wouldn't even notice it, but we have switched from our wine offerings, our twist-off caps versus corks this year. And what that means is our ability to serve guests faster. And if you just, as a wine drinker, just think about uncorking thousands of bottles of wine, handing someone a bottle, letting them go open it themselves. So we put a lot of planning and effort into the operational logistics that impact us, that we can control, that will impact the guest experience. So we had long lines in 2019, something I'm not proud of. We've had 2 years to figure out how to fix them. The COVID year gave us extra time. And I feel like the changes we've made will ensure everyone has an amazing experience and no one's waiting in long lines. And they're able to lay out on the pink blankets we give them and enjoy this great music that we've curated for them, including Lupe Fiasco, Estelle, DJ Jazzy Jeff, BJ the Chicago Kid, and a host of others.
Y'all know I love me some Black excellence. Love to see it. And I love how your team, you all sat down and just thought about, y'all thoroughly sat down, not even just regular sound, y'all thoroughly sat down and strategized how to make this process go faster. And I think during this time of COVID, while everybody was indoors, you all had the time to actually look at every last single issue and turn to a positive. So even though the event didn't happen yet, I could already see the success of it. Just how you've been taking that initiative. Because at the end of the day, you already know it's it's going to be fast paced, in and out, fast paced. We love to see it. Besides from those challenges, I'll say from a boss, I'll say from a CEO standpoint, what challenges did you experience just to even get this event together and make sure it was successful? And how did you manage to overcome some of those challenges?
Yeah, and I mean, the most recent challenge has been COVID. So, last year, COVID really started in March of 2020. But as an event producer and an event of this scale, we are producing and planning and expending resources to produce the event the previous October or November. So we were 6 months into planning by the time COVID started. So we had to do this fine two-step of, if it's possible for us to have the event safely, we want to have it, because we'd already put out a ton of financial resources in pre-planning and production. And then ultimately we got to the point where that was clear that was no longer an option. So how do we do right by the guests that had purchased tickets through a refund process, or the ability to make those tickets good in the future, which is this year. And so how do we do that and do it in a way that protects us, so we can bring the event back at a future date but still do right by the guests? Some folks think we waited too long to make the decision to give refunds, which is fair criticism. It's always a balancing act. But once we made the decision, we gave out thousands and thousands of refunds across Atlanta, across Houston, and across DC. Probably 10,000 or 11,000 refunds in total. And then some folks did make the decision to hold their ticket for this year, and we look forward to welcoming those guests back this year. So the biggest thing has been kind of balancing and planning through COVID over the last year and a half, and being deliberate and thoughtful to make sure folks are comfortable, folks are safe. The reason the festival is 2 days this year is because we don't want to max out either day. So even though by and large, COVID is kind of over, but it looked like it may be, whatever happens with COVID, the single reason the festival went from a one-day festival to a two-day festival is because we don't want folks to be at a jam-packed event either day. So when folks come, whether they buy a Saturday ticket or a Sunday ticket, we are not packing the site to capacity in either day. We probably will not exceed 50 to 60% capacity either day by design, because we think that's a safe and thoughtful thing to do for our guests.
And I definitely agree with you all on that executive decision, because we still got to be mindful. Like you said, we still got to be mindful. Like it's going away, it might be coming back, but let's still be mindful. Let's have a good amount. And again, hey, y'all made a 2-day experience. Despite everything that everybody been going through, people gonna need those 2 days, even though they attended 1 day or even both days. People gonna need both of those days.
Yeah.
So after this event, what's next? What can we look forward to?
Right. So what's next with the Spears Group? So we are putting all of our time, energy, effort, and resources into making sure this event is wildly successful from a guest experience perspective. We want folks to come out, have an amazing time, and next year, folks can't wait for it, and it is kind of stamped as part of the culture going into 2022. After that, we produce another very, very different concept, rather large festival in my hometown in New Orleans. It's a large food festival. We host restaurants from across the country. So our team's gonna go right into that. That happens in October. That's about 100,000 person festival. The hosts come out and fly food from restaurants from all over the country. And then we're going to begin working on our 2022 program, which will include returning to DC, likely on National Rosé Day, which is usually the second Saturday in June, as well as returning to Atlanta and adding Houston into the mix as well. So we'll have a 3-city tour in 2022. And the plan will be Houston and Atlanta will likely be in May, earlier in the spring, summer months, because the South gets noticeably warmer than the DC area. So we'll look to get Houston and Atlanta out the way in May. And then the second Saturday in June, we'll look to bring this concept back to DC on National Rosé Day in 2022.
Hey, and we are all here for it, because, like I said, I see the success of it. We got a lot of wine drinkers. After this pandemic, but have some more, so I can see the success to come. Lastly, tell me, how can people in the community, how can they purchase tickets for general admission and VIP? Where can they purchase tickets?
Absolutely. So one, you can follow us on social media. It is Célébré En Rosé, and that is CELEBREZENROSE.com, and it's also our social handles. We have 3 tickets available. The first ticket is an admission ticket. It gets you into the event and you can enjoy the music, enjoy the festivities, access the photo installations, and then purchase at our bars and at our food trucks and food vendors. Our second ticket is our kind of our wine package. It includes a bottle of wine. That wine is Palm by Whispering Angel. Delicious, delicious rosé wine from Port-au-Prince, France, made by their parent company, Whispering Angel, which is one of the most popular rosés in the world. And then we have our highest price point ticket is our VIP ticket, and that is an experience presented by Moet. So what that includes is a bottle of Moet Rosé Champagne. It includes lunch, an individual lunch package and box catered by Wolfgang Puck. It includes your blanket and as well as access to the Moet VIP lounge, which is being designed and built out by Moet, as well as a front of stage viewing pit that overflows out of the VIP lounge into right in front of the stage for folks to view the concert and music. Those are the 3 ticket options available online, and they can get those at CélébréEnRosé.com. Please follow and engage with us on social media. On Instagram. Instagram is where we do a lot of talking, communicating, answering questions, sharing FAQs. If folks have a ticket from 2020 that they want to redeem this year, there are instructions on how they do that. They will have to kind of contact us and let us know that they're planning to attend, and we will have to send them a new barcoded ticket. So all of that information is on the FAQs on the website, and we frequently just post it out in our story on Instagram, because we want to make sure folks are getting the information. They can come out, enjoy it. What we don't want to have happen, someone shows up with a ticket from 2020 and you go to scan the barcode and it doesn't scan. So we want to make sure we get all of those things addressed early and have folks able to show up, have a smooth experience, fly through the entry points, fly through the bar where they pick up their wine, their cocktails, their blankets, and lay out on the lawn, listen to great music, see their friends, take a lot of photos, and have a good time.
Mm-hmm. So everybody, make sure you hear that clearly. If you have a ticket from 2020, please contact them so you can make sure you get an updated ticket, because if you try to use that old ticket, it's not going to work. You need a new barcode. So make sure you please contact the team so they can make sure to get you squared away. And for those looking to go, I strongly suggest getting that VIP ticket. That sounds like the best.
It's a great value. You get a bottle of champagne, you get lunch for the day, you get a great lounge to hang out in, and you get all this great music and this concert experience. It's a great ticket. That ticket is almost sold out. We only have a few left on each day because we don't sell a lot of them. But we think it's a great value in it.
Like I said, y'all better hurry up and hop on it, because he already said it himself. They're going by and they're going by quick. So make sure y'all get your tickets. Mrs. Spears, I thank you so much for coming on and speaking with us. Before we go, do you have, I do got one more question for you, matter of fact. I always ask everybody this question. So what piece of advice or words of encouragement you'll give to the next event designer or next business owner who's looking to expand their brand, somewhat how you expanded yours? What would you tell them?
I think if they're an entrepreneur in the event business, think about the long game and not the short term or the immediate gratification. Folks in this business, in the event business, if you're trying to do a new concept, it probably won't make money its first time or first year, our event is annual. It may very well lose money its first year or its first time, but be committed to the concept, be committed to the experience you're endeavoring to create. And what will happen is that it'll be a bell curve and it'll go up if you commit to the experience. And then you do well and make money and increase your brand and all of those things. But think about the long game and not the short game is what I share with folks.
Mm-hmm. Think about the long game, not the end game. Thank you so much, Mr. Spears. And I appreciate you for coming on and speaking with us.
Awesome. Thank you so much for having me.
My pleasure, my pleasure.